Okay, great. I see the little live button. Cool.
Hi everybody, welcome to another Simon on the Sofa hangout, and this is a Simon on the Sofa spontaneous hangout for all you out there that are tuning into Simon on the Sofa. Yeah, I find myself in a very interesting space actually. This happens when you stick with something that you feel compelled to do in life, and then over time you start to embody it more and embrace it more and so on. And I'm speaking to a wonderful woman today called LeAnn, and we've never spoken before like this with audio, with sound. We've normally done a little bit of messenger on either the social forums, and we were going to speak today anyway and just connect, because it was part of what the journey was taking us to. You know, we were going to connect in. We enjoy what each other's sharing to the world and so on. And then I just said, look, can we just film it? Because often I have these conversations where many people want to speak to me, and I think, oh, well, I should have filmed that one, and then it would have been another one for the world to hear at this time in evolution. So welcome, Tara.
Thank you. It's great to be here.
Yeah, lovely. And you're over in Cologne today, yeah?
Yep, I'm in Germany, Cologne.
In Germany, yeah. And I was going to say such a stupid joke then about Cologne. What's the point? It's like everybody would do that. So yeah, let's dive in and just, you know, I'll ask you. I know you just shared that you just got back from a journey, but I'll ask you, you know, what if we just close our eyes for just one moment? Actually, let's do this. I know we were just talking about inquiry, so let's just do that. I know we just set up. We got people that are either tuning in live or will watch this video back. So if we just take a moment to like breathe and just tune in with ourselves and see why we've come together today, and what's really drawn us together. To come together at this moment to share a conversation, because as you know, the Simon on the Sofa really is about communicating transparently and being able to share where we're at right now in this, you know, this cosmic soup that we find ourselves. So we just do, like, you know, a few breaths together, yeah?
Okay.
Wonderful. So I just love the power of just taking those moments. So yeah, so I'll ask you, just from that place of where you are in this moment, yeah, what do you feel would like to come through, and yeah, what are you feeling right now, just in yourself?
Yeah, this is a great way to begin. I have just spent a lot of time in this space, and it's beautiful to just land back here. I was just staffing in a process called the Path of Love, and it's a very large group. It's a week-long process, and there are as many people supporting the process as there are participants. Some of the extraordinary things about it. So we finish with this giant space of unconditional love. It's really beautiful. Hearts cracked open.
Yeah, continue. Feel free. What else is? Yeah, it's magic. What else feels to come through? And we can go off. We could go off on that, but it's lovely.
Yeah. We finished the whole process with. I played a concert. I play crystal singing bowls, and I work with voice. And a couple of conversations in the past few days have deepened this understanding about sound and voice. Yeah, I'll just share one of the things that I share with people is my voice and how to tune into your own voice. I think that our own voices are the most healing sound that we can experience. The voice that's on the inside of our bodies, the one that we hear when we speak, is actually, that's your complete voice. You hear it on the inside. And often, it doesn't all make it to the outside. If there are parts of me that I'm not recognizing or that I don't want, that I'm hiding from myself somehow or hiding from the outside, that part of my voice doesn't reach the outside. So the more transparent that I am with myself, the more transparently my voice reaches you. And I've experienced this. It's very interesting how different my voice sounds on recordings depending on which space I'm in. And more, the voice that I hear on the inside is the same one that I hear on a recording on the outside. And the effect that this has when you listen to someone's voice, I think I was just speaking with a friend about listening, for example, to Deva Premal and Miten singing, especially live, and this relaxed quality of someone who's really in this space of doing nothing, effortlessly allowing the voice to come out, not trying to impress, not trying to do anything, not trying to heal, not trying to, even, it's not even about trying to be in tune, because when we are in this space of being, and it's coming from some kind of, it's the flow, right? It's very hard to describe, but it's not coming from anything that's trying to change anything. Then the voice has a particular quality, the being has a particular quality, and it's relaxing. And I've been so blessed now. I've been playing the crystal singing bowls since 2006. I discovered them in 2006, began playing in 2007. And the crystal sound is really interesting because it puts the body, it has an immediate effect on the body. It doesn't even matter whether you're aware of it. It's the body brings the sound in, and the waves go through the cells. And there's an automatic, involuntary relaxation. I find it very difficult to think in that space. It's really helped me come into the body. Really changed my singing voice. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I'm just allowing that. Listening to you speak, I'm just allowing that. Almost, you're talking about vibrations, and I'm totally just allowing that vibration of what you just shared to. I could feel it as you was talking, even as you were saying that. Just as you were saying that. From that place of allowing the sound, the voice, the sound that comes out and expresses itself, however it wants to be when you're not in control of it. And I could feel, even being in this space and us beginning like this, it feels in my whole body, I just feel my whole body resonating right now, vibrating. It feels warm. There's a warmth that just come over my back and my arms, and I really love. It was so wonderful to hear you describe transparent communication in a way that it's my passion, as you know, but I hadn't heard it articulated in the way that you expressed it, which was that when that voice that you are always with, that inner voice that you hear, that you live with, that is with you 24/7, when you hear that voice coming out and it's the same voice, that is you showing up transparently, and that for me, I mean, yeah, I mean, that is, without realizing that that is what I've been trying to achieve, you know, and I say not even trying. It's although actually at times I have tried, because it's been challenging along the way. It's been really challenging along the way to express and articulate what I'm really feeling inside and how I'm going to deliver that without, you know, and then realizing when I do deliver it that, you know, oh wow, look at the effect that had on that person, or look at the effect, you know, either sometimes painfully and other times joyfully, and it's been really, it's been really, the word that was coming up through the solar plexus was like, it's been challenging, and even as I feel that energy in the solar plexus, that's what I often feel is like even now I can feel a lot of emotion arising, you know, wow. I'm even feeling tearful as we speak. That is like, that's just hit something so, wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's just hit all the emotion I've been experiencing recently.
I can really feel my solar plexus is really going right now too, with a lot of buzz. It must be a...
Yeah, that's like, bam. Wow, that's just... That's just like, boom. That's just boom. Thank you so much for that, just that connection to that.
Yeah, I mean, the vibration is there whether we speak or not. And there's something about the speaking, and of course the toning or whatever it is you're doing with your voice, that gives your body the chance to experience this essence. It's your essence. It's your voice, you know, it's the core sound. That's why this chanting and singing can be so healing.
Yeah, and not surprising that singing has been you know, with us, you know, from the moment, I mean, you know, we come out, with the moment we come out of, you know, the womb, you know, we're singing, right? I mean, we might call it a scream, but that's only because we've labeled it that the baby's screaming.
Yeah, that's right.
It's actually that's coming out and singing like, way, you know, I'm like, I'm here. It's like, you know, it's like, I'm here.
Yeah, the voice is one of the first things that gets activated, right?
Totally.
And it's also one of the first things that gets shut down, because we've got such strong ideas that babies shouldn't make sound, and kids are supposed to be whatever, you know. Everybody, I work with people in something called Voice Awakening. You know, almost everybody's got this moment when a teacher said, "Oh, you sound terrible, be quiet," or "You're being too loud," or, you know, "You can't sing," or whatever it is. And so then it starts, you know, and it's really...
it's like, my friend, I have a friend here on the island that does sound healing called Amber. And I did a 4-session workshop with her on it was called Vocal Release.
Great.
Yeah, and what was really powerful is just what you just said again, just highlighting that, is that, you know, she just brought that compassion and love to that all sound is perfect, divine. It's like, you know, it's only our personal judgments that have said, you know, if I start singing like this, oh, it's not in tune, or it's not that. But she was like, we all ended up, by the end of the 4 weeks, we'd all had this wonderful, liberating, transformational dive within ourselves of how potent sound is. And on top of that, on top of that, it was the same when I was studying as an actor. Is that ultimately, and you know, you just mentioned to me that your daughter's like written a play and so on, and it's like ultimately the vocal box, the larynx, the you know, everything that's going on in our frame, our whole body is this voice box. Is this sounding box of how to, you know, use the breath, use the body. If you put it in certain positions, the sound changes, etc., etc. You know, so yeah, just highlighting that really.
Yeah, that's great. I often have the feeling that there's not anything behind. It's like the sound comes in. So I do a lot of I sing with the bowls, and I do. Work with essential oils, so scent and sound together. Nice. And I never know what's going to come through when I'm doing that, you know. And it's the feeling is that the sound is actually coming in behind my throat, and then going in, and the sound goes from the bottom of my torso all the way up, and it goes out the top of my head. It's not even really going out of my mouth. It's something. The vibrations are very different that way. I had a really extraordinary experience about 4 years ago at the Stones in Avebury, when this voice first came through. Like just somehow I had this feeling I was just doing normal toning, you know, and all of a sudden I felt like, wow, really, there's a really big sound there that wants to come out. Do I dare do this? You know, here I am in the middle of, there's other people around, and you know. And I just said, you know what, I'm just going to go for this. And I was with a very good dear friend named Alan Steinfeld, who does something called New Realities in New York. And my daughter, Adele, that I mentioned to you before. And I just let it rip. And it was incredibly loud. and I asked them afterwards, I did it for like 10 or 15 minutes, and it felt like, I mean, I don't know if it was a Kundalini awakening or what, but it was like a fire hose had been attached to the bottom of me, and the sound just went blasting out the top of my head. And it felt so good, and all the bones inside my skull were vibrating, you know, and afterwards I was like, how was that? What happened, you know? And Alan said, I didn't think a human could make a sound that loud.
you cracked the stones in Avebury.
and Adele said it sounded like insects, and it's true. There's a lot when I've learned to then sort of let this come through, and there's a huge amount of high frequency stuff sort of riding on the top of the sound. It's some people have said it's a bit like this Tibetan chanting. It's a bit like some kind of, it's not throat singing. It's not like the Tuvan throat singing exactly, but it's a lot of overtones. And at the time I was tuned in with somebody in New Zealand who lived at that time on a very big cliff, giant stone. And we had decided to do kind of a joint thing. It was the day after solstice, and you know, whatever. And we really had a feeling that there was some kind of reprogramming going on inside the stones, but I have no idea. I mean, whatever. It felt really good, I know that. And it really changed my voice.
Yeah, which is wonderful. And like you just said, it's not even about trying to say what happened, is it, with words? It just happened. It just happened.
Yeah,
you know, whether it was to do with the space, the stones, or whatever. But what I'm sensing from you, and I can see it in your face, the sparkle in your face, is that at that point there was a liberation. There was a step into a you could term it a different dimension, a different paradigm, a different level of your consciousness, whatever you want the bracket is. You as an individual, you as that beautiful sound being, if you will, you know, up to notch.
That's right. I stepped into more of my own being somehow. Or I became, actually, I went away. That's the other thing that happens. If it's really more about me just observing, and allowing something to come through without changing it. This is so important. So, you know, because you can't. if you're trying to change what's coming through, whatever, if you're writing, you know this, right? You know,
Yeah.
you're not that you're too much there. You're censoring, and the pure flow is not about stopping and changing it to make it look better or sound better. Or,
it's so what's the word, apt, or is it pertinent, is that the word that I'm looking for? It's what you just shared there is just, again, this is this freedom of expression.
Yes.
I'm writing a book, and I've started censoring, not censoring because I don't want to share what I want to share, is that I've started to somehow censor it, and there's too much of me in the way, whereas before I just wanted to express what the hell I wanted to express. Then the mind come in, or whatever, the head, ego, thoughts, whatever you want to call it, come in. And it's like, oh, that's not right. Oh, somebody else has said it like that. This is not clarified, you know. And all it's done for me, Tara, in the last 6 months, I haven't written a thing.
Right. It shuts you down because you think, okay, I'm writing a book.
Yeah.
You have an idea of how a book should be, and there's nothing wrong with some kind of a structure. Of course, you know, that's how we are. We're in this physical reality, and it has structures. I have atoms and molecules and stuff. But it really gets in the way if you try to define it too much. It's really tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a tricky play, you know. I mean, I'm funnily enough, I'm now back in a stage where it's coming through again. But what I'm not doing is I'm also not beating myself up for that six months.
Oh no, you had it. That was perfect.
Yeah, it's wonderful. Yeah, and you know, loads of other things have happened in that time, and I've been doing other things. But the point is that it's what I think what I'm really getting from you today is that letting go and that freedom. And often when I use the word letting go, especially on the path that we're on now, and to change that we're on, is that when you go and you first of all you start to hear these concepts, you might read about them, you might psychologically get them, grasp them, but when you live them, when you're in them, and you're experiencing them, then you know it takes on a completely different knowing, a different level of understanding. And I think what you're pointing to through the music and through what you're sharing is very much this ability to, which is so difficult, but this ability to get out of the way and allow.
Yes.
But we're just so not being programmed to do that, have we?
No, it's dangerous. You know, that's not what we're taught. So it's like the difference between, you know, I don't know if you've ever played an instrument.
Well, I'm practicing the guitar, but that's as far as I've got.
Okay, or even it could be about sports or anything to do with the body, right? Dancing, anything.
Yeah.
You're at a place when you're learning where you don't really know what to do. You know, so I play the flute, for example. When I was 10 years old, I started learning classical silver flute, right? And you have to learn the fingerings. You have to learn this is an F, this is a G, this is an A. And it takes a while. You have to practice before your body has this, and it's a knowing. It's in your body. And then you come to a place where you don't have to stop and say, now I'm going to play an A and my fingers have to be here. You know, now I'm going to kick this football and it's going to go through those goalposts or whatever it is.
Yeah.
And when you reach that place, but you don't have, the thing is you don't have to reach that place to get this freedom, because it's knowing that whatever comes out is okay.
Yeah. But again, that's very, very powerful what you're saying. It's knowing that what comes out is okay. But that okay, that like, oh, it's okay, because we don't have that. That blocks so many of our beautiful human beings on this planet. It blocks them from expressing their creativity, because you know they won't do the bum note or the oh God, that's not right. You know, it's like instantly in that place, it's just this numbing, you know, desensitization that takes place. You know, it's and this is actually, you know what, I'm excited what you're saying, because this is what I notice when people ask me what I'm doing, why I'm doing what I'm doing. It's ultimately because I see the life force in all of us. I see it, I feel it in myself. I see it in you today, and I see this life force, and I can see how energized it is and thriving and engaged, and how it wants to express itself. And then what I notice and what I come across and what I've experienced in my life along the way is all of this numbed down, desensitized, non-active, almost drained force. This like that just cannot express itself. Does that make sense? So, but what you're saying is when it's all okay, you can just you are enough. Just express what you want to express. That sound is beautiful. Let it out. It's like all of a sudden you're getting this liberated sense of the energy, being able to go,
Yeah. And everything is okay. That's it's so important. And of course our super ego, our inner judge, whatever you want to call it, the mind stuff comes in and says, no, it's not. And those voices are there. They're always going to be there, the inner critic, Yes. It's such an interesting thing. And to say, I feel like doing this right now. And then just letting yourself be in that, whatever it is you feel like. We haven't, and we're looking for permission from somewhere else. We're looking for permission. So I really think that's what happens with healing. We hear that this person can do this special, whatever it is, and we go there and we give them permission. And the only healing really happens when we make some kind of shift inside ourselves. But sometimes we need a permission slip.
I love it. I just love it. I love what I know I say that, people watching, you might think that I just agree with the people that come on these beautiful calls with me, but I don't agree if I don't feel the resonance. And what you just said there is people need the permission slip. I got to repeat that. People listening to this talk, please digest that, share this with whoever you need to share, because how true is that? Like the minute we're told, even like as youngsters, we're so never given the permission. We're so suppressed in so many ways because of our, the lineage of suppression. That like you just said, if somebody goes to a healer or they go to a book or they go to this person, that they've already projected that this person has the answer or whatever, or has the capacity to do.
They have a degree on the wall, whatever it is.
Right, and they have the capacity to do what it is that we know we want to happen.
Yes, exactly.
And then because we're not willing to go, oh well, I can do that myself, because we haven't got to that place.
Right.
They then touch us, tell us, take us through a process, do whatever, and we go, yes, I have permission. Oh, and that's why all the healers out there, dream healers, all these different healers, any of the real beautiful people always say that there is no, I'm not doing any healing. The individual is doing the healing, isn't it?
Yes.
All of them. Anyone of real clarity always says, it is not me. I'm not the one doing the distant healing. I'm not even distant healing. People go, well, how does that distant healing work? Well, again, it's the permission slip.
Permission. That's all it is. That's why I call my my website is Space for Grace. So that's all I can offer. I have, and in my particular case, I seem to have an affinity for sound and vibrational sensory experiences for the body. And it's space. If you give yourself space, then grace can happen. It's exactly what you just said. It has to come from the inside. And if we ask for permission from the outside for anything, then we're giving the outside power. We're giving away our own power. Because if I need something from you if I need you to allow me to be who I am, where does that put me?
Wow, this is wow, rich. Carry on. Sorry, I'm just making confirming noises in the background. Okay?
It's great. You're stimulating. I don't know where this is coming from. I have no idea where it's going, but you're stimulating something. But this has really been. It's so important for us to all have permission, even just to be. I think there's a huge amount of people, I know myself included, who really have not felt like I could even be here. It's like it's hard to be human.
Yeah. Wow. Let's just sit with that. It's hard to be human. With my friend Natalie said yesterday, she's just like, she's like, with all this stuff, all this growth, all this, like, I need to go through the pain to grow. I need elevation. I need to do more and be more. And she said, I wake up and I'm like, where the hell am I? You know, what do I need all this for? And I said the same. I said a similar thing. I said, you know, the universe is so magic and beautiful, and look how it all functions, and our body functions without us doing anything. And yet we continually say that that's not right, this needs to change, and all this other, like, almost, you could say, futile at times, pain and suffering happens. And, you know, and again, not to say that let's not judge that pain as right or wrong and so on, but so, you know, you just, that is just like, we don't allow ourselves just to be. And then the planet, and like you said, it's hard being a human. There's something you said just before, we don't allow ourselves to be, which is, we got to touch on this, right? I don't know if you want to just track back a tiny bit, is that, because this is very relevant to what I've been experiencing in my recent relationship dynamics, is that, you know, I'm doing a talk on this on Sunday, but basically I've been like so deep into the inward journey of, like, you know, you're in relationship, what's it come to teach you, and so on, and looking at a beautiful relationship that you can have, and then seeing how that can ultimately still be lacking in something. And then ultimately, you just said it, which is, it's never lacking, it's never the relationship or the other person that's lacking, it's your half of what you're bringing to any one thing. So, you know, I have to take care of my relationship, I have to take care of my inner self, my love, my self-love, my self-trust, my everything. And then at that place, when I'm not needing the other to fulfill me, I'm not needing to project anything onto them, it's in that place that you can just show up and just be. And I think that's just what you sort of touched on that a little bit before. I don't know what comes up to you from there. But it's that, again, it's that allowing, isn't it? It's that allowing that you are already enough.
Yes. And this, when I said it's hard to be human, I think one of the things that's the most challenging for us to deal with is all this emotional stuff. So we have such strong programming that it's wrong to feel certain things. We suppress all this, you know, anger and whatever we think is all this negative stuff.
Yeah.
And that's just a physical, you know, it's hormonal, whatever it is, electromagnetic in our bodies. That's part of being human, I guess, that when we don't get what we want, or when we feel threatened or scared, certain chemicals come up in our bodies and we feel these things. But I've seen studies that say that those chemicals actually only last for about 90 seconds. So if we can just let ourselves feel and then let it go, you know, that's what little kids, that's why little kids are like, you know, they'll be screaming and really upset, and then 2 minutes later they're like sunshine and everything is fine, and you're like, huh? You know, they don't hold on to it. They're just, you know, they're just with whatever is. And so when I take responsibility for my feelings and I say, you know, I'm feeling angry or whatever, but it has nothing to do with you.
Yes.
I take responsibility. I'm not blaming, or I'm not saying it's because of you. I mean, that's huge, because that also reclaims my own power, if you want to call it power. It's my birthright. It's my responsibility, ability to respond, right? Ability to, you know, it's so. I have a song.
Carry on.
A song called "Nothing Personal" that suddenly, when you were speaking about relationship and all of this, I suddenly thought, oh, this is really perfect for this moment. Maybe I should just sing it.
Sing, bro, damn straight. You want to sing it, you sing it, 100%. That'd be an absolute pleasure.
This is just a cappella, so you know it's not. Yeah, it's
better with don't say anything.
Yeah, I know. Let's see. I have to think about what key it's going to be in. It's nothing personal. You are you and I am me. It's nothing personal. Can we let each other be? The things that feel like truth to me, to you just seem insane. Our world's so far apart and you can't get inside my brain. It's nothing personal. I'm afraid to hold your hand. It's nothing personal. You come from another land. Where I was raised, I learned to fear that you might do me harm. I'm reaching out with courage, even though I feel alarmed. It's nothing personal, nothing's fair in love and war. It's nothing personal, we have all we need and more. Let's face our fears and listen to the love that's underneath. We'll find a quiet knowing that's far deeper than belief. It's nothing personal. I am you and you are me. It's nothing personal. When will we all finally see that love to you and love to me are really the same thing? When hearts connect and thoughts go quiet, souls begin to sing, and it's nothing personal, yeah. It's nothing personal. It's love.
Thank you so much. I'm so happy we captured that. And you know what? I'm just like, again, I'm just giving you, you know, where I'm at right now. It's like the experience that I've been going through is, as you're saying that, it's like, it's not personal.
No.
You know, it's just not personal. What I've done, the choices I've made, you know, and I'm speaking, you know, with my recent partner, and it's not personal. It's like it's all about this journey within to love ourselves and to open, you know. And you know, that's a lovely song. Thank you so much.
No, you're welcome.
Thank you so much. You know, imagine how we can come together.
Yeah.
And I know that's how we're coming together, but and I know we're experiencing this, and it is definitely a shift in human relating. Is that when we can just show up, and and each individual. I spoke to a guy yesterday. We had a tiny little. It's so beautiful, actually. I was about to do this some work with somebody, and we met. We spoke once or twice on Skype. Then we met, and there was something something wasn't aligned. Yeah, something wasn't for me anyway. It just wasn't. There wasn't something there. Something wasn't right. There was something feeling was missing. I could feel it in my, you know, again in my solar plexus. It's one of the great places of communication. Yeah. And you know, I just was like, I always have to communicate to the source. I have to communicate. And when I say the source, I mean if there was something I wanted to communicate with you, I communicate to Tara. I want to talk to Tara. If there's no way of me talking to you, then I would still try to talk to you if I had to through somebody else. But ultimately, I want to speak to you. You know, it's like I want to share with you what I'm feeling, what's coming up for me. So anyway, I wrote to him and I just said, look, you know, there's something not aligned, and it's neither. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's there, but you might be feeling something similar, and if you are, that's great. But then I don't feel that we can move on until we look at this. And he replied back and said something lovely as well. He said, you know, thank you for the email, blah blah blah. And he goes, there's something niggling me, and I don't know what it is, you know. And I was like, great. So at least we're harmonizing there, you know. Yeah. And basically, then we spoke yesterday. And, you know, and we just shared, and you just felt, it's similar to how the beginning of this call began, is that, you know, you shared what you shared, and that emotion come up, and you just said it's like children, and even it's like ducks or animals, you know, they have an argument, and then next minute they're fine. And and even with this, it was just something wasn't, you know, aligned. And then yesterday we had this sharing, and he shared, and I shared, and, you know, and again, always this happens with transparent communication. There was just this love around it, you know, and I even said, you know, it's not personal, it's nothing about you, it's just what I was feeling, and thank you for, you know, thank you for holding that, And also, thank you for being sensitive enough to share what you was feeling, and not just go, well, you know, he could have turned around and said, well, if you've got a problem, and you know, there's something not right for you, then good, go, you know, you're not involved, go away, you know.
Right, which is okay too. I mean,
yeah.
You know, that's the thing. It's really important to give everybody the space.
Yes.
So, but yeah, that's perfect what you're saying, because it doesn't matter what the other people are doing. At least, you know, that's not your responsibility. You can't respond for other people. You don't know what's going on in them. I find I think that this question of what we experience, what I experience in here, it's just this endless mystery. What is going on in your head? You know, what do you see when you see the color blue? What do you hear? Yeah. I really have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's layers and layers and layers. You know, people who have lived in one place their whole life and then suddenly go into some other culture, that's one level of it, right? You know, they find, oh, there's this other way of understanding that smile or that gesture, or there's a different way that you flush the toilet or whatever. It's really interesting. And then when you learn to speak another language, you realize that there's this other space. It's like another universe, you know, and there's two universes coming together, and the two languages have this space where they intersect.
Right.
Where there can be a dictionary, and then there's this other place here where there's no translation. I think people are like that, you know. You have Simon essence, and I have Tara LeAnn essence, and there's this place where we can speak or understand, maybe. Yeah. I don't know, you know. Yeah. We don't know what you're understanding. It's so cool.
yeah. But you know, it's again, it's in that field. I like this with a friend that I'm speaking to at the moment, and we're sharing a lot, and we're sort of pointing constantly to this idea of the field beyond, you know, right and wrong thinking.
Yeah.
You know, I know, you know, it's what Rumi spoke about, but you know,
I have a song about that too. I'll sing it to you, but anyway, that's another song.
No, beautiful, because that's what we're pointing to here, because we're pointing to a higher, and this is when I say higher for everybody listening, it's not about level, it's not about level,
more inner, isn't it?
Yeah, totally, yeah. And from that more inner, there's more awareness that then allows consideration, compassion, empathy, understanding. You know, the ability to see and hear. You know, you're talking about sound, and to just see and hear more. You could say more clearly.
More bandwidth.
Yeah. Sorry. More.
More bandwidth. It's like
Right. More bandwidth.
Opens up.
Yeah. Right. So that opens up. Yeah. So that opens up, and you could say that's your level of, you know, frequency opening up connecting you to more of the vibrational field that's happening. Hence why we're talking about now the heart field and heart math, and how we have this electromagnetic field that's 15 feet in diameter, that's resonating out of us, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm sure you've heard about the whole heart math and heart field, right?
Oh yeah, and this goes also into Nassim Haramein's work, and the understanding that the heart is a black hole. But that's another story.
Tell me a little bit on that. Is that the heart?
So Nassim Haramein is a theoretical physicist. The Resonance Project. He's based on Kauai. Beautiful, amazing work. He's come up with an equation, a unified field theory that answers all the questions that Einstein left behind to do with infinity. Actually, he's brought infinity back into the equations, you know, and it's a long thing. You can go to, I think it's the resonanceproject.org or something like that. You're going to hear some noise because one of my daughters just came home from school and she's walking in downstairs.
That's okay. Bring her into the call if you need to.
Oh no, it's okay. I think the other daughter who's here, who came home from school yesterday with me, knows what's going on. Anyway, so Nassim basically has shown that the center of everything is a black hole. The center of every atom, the center of every human resonance field, the center of every star, the center of our planet, right? And it's the place, a black hole is not just a place where things disappear. It's an equally balanced vortex where things come into existence and disappear from existence at an equal space. It's equal. And it's a place where everything is connected to everything else. So this gets into infinity because it's connected with the structure that he has found of metaspace is essentially two tetrahedrons, which is these a triangle with a triangle pyramid on top of it, right? That's a tetrahedron. You put two of them together, you get a three-dimensional Star of David. You put circles around all of the intersection points on that three-dimensional space, and you get a three-dimensional flower of life.
Beautiful.
The what did they call it in the Kabbalah? The tree of life.
Yeah, somebody was mentioning that yesterday. Yes.
Fits into the same geometry. If you look at the 64 lines that are created by this structure that I just mentioned, and you look at the places where they're intersected by lines or not intersected by lines, you get the 64 forms of the I Ching. It's amazing. All of the ancient information that it's like we were left clues, you know? It all fits together with the cutting edge understanding that they're getting in quantum physics. It's so cool because then you get into the Fibonacci sequence of numbers, right? Where I don't know if you know about 1 + 1 is 2, 1 + 2 is 3, 2 + 3 is 5, 3 + 5 is 8, 5 + 8 is 13. You add the number that came before to the next number that you got. And you keep going on into infinity. It's what happens in nature when plants grow. There will be a flower and it'll have 3 and 5 and 8 and 13 petals, like, you know, and it's repeated over and over in nature.
Mind-blowing.
It's like we're taking the ancient knowledge that humans had plus the knowledge we have now, and then we can go to the next, whatever it is that comes next. And so Nassim, well, when I mentioned the infinity, this is so big, this, you know, I get really excited about this. But the thing is, if you look at if we go back to 2 dimensions and we just look at a Star of David with a circle around it, you can make circles around the triangles that are created by these 2 triangles going together, right? You get little triangles from that shape, right? You put circles around all of those triangles and you go in and you can do smaller ones, and then you can do smaller ones, and then you can do smaller ones. Or you can take that same structure and it can be part of a bigger one and a bigger one. It's infinite. This holographic existence that we're in, those black holes are also infinite, but it all goes in, it all goes to this, as a human being, that the core of it is the heart space. And I think women also have a black hole in the womb where, you know, we're fractal. It's all fractal.
Yeah, I'm just going to say that word. I was going to say that fractal. Just, in
and out. And it's this place where we're connected to all the information. So all the outward searching, all the looking for something on the outside is, I mean, it's interesting, but the place where all the information is all here in the inside. It's like falling in.
But also based on what you said with that inner and outer, can you see that there is that expression on the outer that comes out, that where, you know, where we get pulled, and again I liken it to the sort of paths that we're all on. You know, there's this outward expression, and then at some point there becomes this inward dive or turn, and I'm starting to feel, should I say, that depending on how long you're in the body or the body has existed, there's that full process, because you notice it in people, like they're going out, and then ultimately it all points back that you've got to come in. You know, it's like, if you don't, there's no just going out, because that's not how, like you just described, that's not even how infinity, the universe, and nature and everything else, it's not even how it's showing us. So so it feels like what you're sharing now, I love all of that stuff. It blows my mind. You know, I've watched some of that on documentaries, and even just even that we're all having the opportunity to have this information now is magical, because again, I had this conversation yesterday with Natalie, and it was, the point is that ultimately, with or without you or I, there's a constant evolution and shift of energy. It's been happening, infinitely. You know, we just go back to thousands of years. It's constantly moving and shifting, And what's so wonderful is that the internet, the way that we are as human beings, the information that's coming through, the way that we're connecting in and tuning in, communicating differently, you know, transparently sharing, is all part of that continual move into another, you know, another aspect of creation. Well, that's what it feels like to me. I'm just what you, before you touch on that, I just need to plug my computer in. But you can carry on talking. You can carry on talking.
My computer battery just came up low. I have 10%.
Have you got your charger?
Yeah, I have to move to a place. Either I'll get the charger. That's probably better. Then I don't have to move to a place that's really
well, or how long does, if 10% lasts for 10, will that last 10 minutes or not?
It might. I'll just watch it. I'll watch it. And if we have to move to something else at the very end, that's okay too. I don't know.
Exactly. So yeah, that's no problem.
So yeah.
Yeah, no, but that's fine. You know, these conversations, I mean,
12 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah, these conversations just go. Yeah, but anyway, so just touching on that, it feels that I'm just bringing it back to. I'm bringing it back to what you said, that the inner journey. It's like what's happening here. Like you said, I don't know who you are, what you're feeling, what you're thinking. So the only way we can know anything or anyone is if we truly know ourselves. Like the only reason that when I meet people and people say, wow, how did you know that, or how did you connect with this? Only because ever I'm connecting with myself.
Yes. And
then I share with them what I'm thinking and feeling. And then if they resonate, if that touches something for them, then you know, they're like, they might go, oh, that's really, you've really read me there, or you're psychic. I think you're really psychic, and all of that's fine. But ultimately, it's not necessarily that I'm psychic. What I've done is I've listened to what's going on here and done what you said at the beginning of the call, is try to congruently, as clearly as possible, express what it is that I'm feeling.
Yeah, and the psychic stuff is very interesting because it's what happens when
I'm just plugging in. Keep talking. 1 minute.
It's also very connected with what you said, or you know, what we're talking about earlier about not judging or censoring what's coming through. So I have this experience over and over now, where I'll say something and the other person is like, "How did you know that?" You know, and I didn't even know I was saying anything psychic, or I was just saying something. There was no agenda. There was no trying to. You know, and they're like, huh? You know, and it feels random to me.
Right.
I don't know where it comes from. But you know, it all goes back to this question, who am I? That's the only question. There's no you know, we talk about transparency and honesty and all of that. And the thing is, the only thing that when you talk about truth, if you're really on the path for truth, I mean, Jed McKenna wrote about this in his books. They're brilliant and really funny too. But, you know, it's who am I? The only thing I can ever really be sure of that I know is that I have some kind of awareness here. I am. That's it. And then the body, the song, you know my song, my body knows.
Yeah.
More and more and more for me, it's just remembering that this body is the only real sort of sign, or you know, because you can feel it in your body when you know that you feel it in your solar plexus, or whatever it is, the emotions you feel or the body sensations you have are true.
Yeah.
They're real.
And what is the guy's name? Just so that for people listening, just to quote the guy's name that you said wrote a beautiful book and is funny.
Oh, Jed McKenna. J-E-D.
Yeah, J-E-D McKenna.
I think it's M-C-K-E-N-N-A.
Yeah.
I don't remember the names, but they can look it up. They're brilliant. I listen to them on audiobooks, and
it's perfect. Well, just to speak to that you just mentioned, it's funny because, you know, I've been on this quest of truth, journey of truth, whatever you want, seeking of truth, you know, within myself, and I found the way to do it was if I'm going to live my truth, the only way that I can live my truth is if I'm going to communicate my truth. And if I'm going to communicate my truth, then there's going to be a hell of a lot that has to change along the way, because ultimately all of that I was experiencing was functioning from a foundation of lies and fear, right? Yeah. So from that place, I had to step in. You know, if I wanted to know what truth felt like, I had to come back to myself and go, well, I have to know what it feels like within me. You know, because if I don't feel like, if I don't know what it feels like in here, I'm just speculating that over there's truth, or so and so said truth, or Gandhi's speaking truth, or Jesus or Martin Luther King, they're speaking truth. Yeah, but I don't know. They might be speaking truth. Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know it unless I'm resonating with it here.
It has to be your own truth. That's right.
It has to be your own truth.
You can't follow anybody else. That's why Buddha said, if you meet me on the path, kill me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Supposedly, who knows what he really said, but
don't anybody watching this at home, doesn't mean you have to kill anybody that you meet along the path, please. Check.
No, but it's about it's your path.
That's our disclaimer, though. Okay, LeAnn. That's our disclaimer. We have to be important about it. There's crazy people are still out in this world.
Yeah. No, it's not about actual murder. That's right.
but and another thing I'm going to say, I think. We could, what I'm about to say, I'm sure we could talk about for another hours, and we could have gone into any aspect of what we've spoken about today for a lot longer. But it's what I've realized more and more as well, is that this path of transparency, truth, self-trust, funnily enough, you were talking about the cycle and the tree of life and all the fractal conversation that you brought to the conversations, to the talk a minute ago. Is that ultimately it's taken me round outside of myself, back into myself, and then back into my sexuality. And this is really interesting, that I didn't realize that actually transparent communication is all about your ability to also connect to yourself sexually from a place of self-love. And then what I've linked to this, which is really quite beautiful, is that, isn't it ironic that when we're born at that place of being born, we're born through making love, through through sexual connection. We're born into this world through orgasm, through this explosion of intimate connection. And then for some strange reason, that aspect of ourselves becomes taboo, just like death. But when you go on this transparent path, it brings you back to your connection, that intimate connection to yourself, to your sexuality, to life.
It's just life. Sexual energy is just your life force. There's nothing sexual specifically about it. It's about being alive.
Yes, it's about life force, and but you see what I mean by when it brings you back to that space, that instills you with even more beautiful life force. It's like wow, Yeah. Anyway, maybe I get excited from that aspect, but that was my little my journey. Anyway, that's where I am now.
And then it just gets stronger. I mean, the life force, when you allow it, you're tapping into an infinite source. In the end, we're all tapping into this infinite, whatever it is. I mean, they say that it all adds up. They say that the atoms are 99.99% space, right? And there's this 90-some percentile of existence that the physicists say now is dark matter that they can't explain. It's all it's infinite. There's an infinite amount of power in the 0-point field all around us all the time that we can't see. It gets really wordy too, and my mind loves candy, obviously.
We all love candy, but it all brings you back to silence, right?
Yeah, it brings you back to this place where, what is the real question? What can I really know? And the only thing is, I am.
Yeah, I'm here in this awareness, and I'm having this experience.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's mine. It's not shared by anybody else, and it is shared by everybody else because.
Yeah, the funky paradox, I call that.
Yeah, love it.
I always say to people, everything's reversed, like dance in the funky paradox, the comfort's in the discomfort, the receiving's in the letting go. What is the other one I say? The let go to receive, need nothing, have everything. Any knowing that may arise is in the not knowing. The silence speaks louder than anything if you're willing to just be quiet enough to listen to it.
The brilliant darkness.
Yeah, the brilliant darkness. Yeah, beautiful. Okay, well, I mean, man, I'm just like, we could just sit with that for a moment. I don't know if you obviously have a bowl with you. I don't know what the sound's like with the microphones, but I was wondering, it might be nice to it might be nice to close with a little bit of sound, a bit of singing bowl, maybe. I don't know. What do you feel?
Yeah, that would be really nice. Actually, I don't know if you're in for another song. I've got a song called "The Language of One" that actually.
100%. Yeah. Do you want to? We could just we could go out with, because we started in that nice silent place. I was thinking we could just close our eyes, have a song, a bit of singing bowl.
I've got a really big. My biggest singing bowl is here, and it's not packed because I didn't take it to England. It's
we can't blow the speakers up.
Okay, well maybe I put the computer on one edge of the stage, and I might not even ring it. I might just gong it. I might just strike it with the woolen mallets that I've got, because then it'll just give a nice sort of
Yeah.
So maybe I sing the language of one, and
Nice.
then when I finish it, just gently. See, I've got I'm plugged in now. I've got 4%. Actually, I'll just leave the computer here because it'll get the sound. I have no idea how it'll sound over the speakers, but
Yeah,
we'll
but where are you going to be? I want to see you though.
when I play the bowl.
Yeah, I want to see you sing. I want to see you have the bowl or whatever close by. Can't we?
Okay, well, I can sing. Let's see. How can we do it?
Let's
Maybe
see.
I'll bring the bowl here behind me. Hold on.
Exactly. Let's create a set. Let's create a set.
Okay.
Right, we're doing live performances here on Simon on the Sofa, and while we're taking this little interlude, while Tara LeAnn sets up a singing bowl, we're going to close the conversation. As always, I just love to say to the viewers out there watching, wonderful for tuning in. These conversations are created because I love having them with magical people, and also for us to realize how powerful communication is. How at this time in evolution, if we all communicate our truth, we're just taking part in that transformation of our human species. If you've enjoyed this, share it with friends, do all that jazz. Like, subscribe, because I'm actually seeking a sponsor, some people that can support me to get the website to the place I want to get it, and also some financial support so I can continue traveling around and meeting people. So the more you share, it's better for the whole project. So thank you so much. Hey, Tara's back.
The bowl is there.
Nice. Wow, what is that? Tell me, what sort of bowl is that?
It's called Aqua Gold. It's 19 inches, perfect hemisphere. It's got a mixture of silicon quartz, crystal, and gold. And I don't know if you can see, it's sort of an aqua color. It's really beautiful. This is a very special bowl.
Wow.
Made by the folks at Crystal Tones in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Amazing. Yeah, and just before, actually, just saying that, you're obviously not from Germany. Where are you originally from?
I grew up on a farm in Iowa.
Okay, awesome. Yeah.
Nice.
Nice.
And I've spent many years in Japan, many years in Germany, a couple years on Bali. That's where I met Sasha Stone, by the way.
Ah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. And you met when you go to London, do you, to Lewis and stuff, you see Ginevra, yeah?
Actually, we're in touch, and we haven't physically met yet.
Okay.
They did this Crystal Singing Bowls thing on Saturday a week ago, and I had other appointments and I couldn't get there, unfortunately.
Okay. She's a friend of mine, and now that I've met you in this way, you two will just go off somewhere in sound.
Absolutely. I can't wait. I love the photographs of what I see of what she's doing with the yurt and everything is just beautiful, and we get bowls from the same place, so it's for sure.
She's amazing. Okay, cool. So feel free to do your thing. What are you thinking? Is there anything, just by the way, that you want to share just as we close our lovely conversation today? Is there anything that you feel that you're happy?
Well, I would love to share, again, you've shared it on Facebook already, but this I wrote this song, My Body Knows, in support of this film, Monthlies, by Diana Fabianova, and it's a documentary film about menstruation for girls. It's 28 minutes long. Its target is schools. Its target is girls from the ages of sort of 5 years old and up. It's a very positive, beautiful way to introduce girls to the whole thing about menstruation, and the song itself is... well, you've seen it, I guess. It's quite healing because it's about the wisdom of the body and how we can trust it. And older women who've been through everything, find it quite touching because we all wish that we'd had something like this when we were that age, So and I'd love to get it out to as many people as possible. If you go to YouTube and you search My Body Knows and Tara LeAnn Eriksson, if you go to spaceforgrace.com, you can find it on my video link. But
Nice.
just, you know, to get people to share it and get that message out there, because it's just so important for us to understand that we can trust our bodies, and our bodies are they hold all the wisdom that we need, you know, and for women to trust their bodies changes the whole game completely.
Yeah, it changes the whole game, changes the way we communicate, changes the way we make love, changes the way that we show up in the world, changes the way that we're confident. I mean, this for me is, I mean, it's wonderful. You know, I'll put the links underneath this video for everybody to know as well that watch it. But I'm thinking, Tara, I'd be happy to do like we can do like another hangout or around menstruation and have a conversation on that, because for me as well is I think that men are very much. I had a recent conversation about this with Samjana Moon, who was talking about you know, just that the unawareness in this area and so on. And I know that men are very much scared around. They don't understand menstruation. They don't really understand what a woman experiences and so on. So I'd be more than happy to. Yeah, we could do a little, maybe a shorter video conversation on it for, you know, specifically on that if you'd like. We could maybe do that. Yeah, we could do that next week maybe.
Yeah, it goes into you know, it's part of the equation for the, you know, there's these 3 points in a woman's life that are really portals or milestones: this menstruation, menarche, childbirth, and menopause, and none of them are really understood. You know, we really we've medicalized them. We've put a lot of fear and stuff in there that isn't necessary. And yeah, so I would love that anytime.
Well, let's do it. Let's do it. We'll have to make it happen next week, because when's the film due out?
Well, the film came out on the 28th of May. So
okay.
Go to monthlies. I don't know if it's monthliesmovie.com, something like that, but you can find the link through with my YouTube video.
Nice.
It's available, and it's available for download. Anybody who wants to download it and show it to their school or show it to anybody, you can just watch it. It's for free. They're asking for donations, of course, because it's an indie film and they need help.
Yeah.
But they're really trying to get it out to as wide an audience. It's available in 5 languages.
Nice.
So, yeah, it's beautiful. It's really beautiful. So, okay.
Nice. Okay, rock and roll. I'm
gonna sing. This song came through while I was staying at the Krishnamurti Center next to my daughter's school in near Petersfield in the UK. I had seen a discourse on duality by Krishnamurti, and that inspired this. It's really a beautiful thing. So yeah, it really echoes some of the themes that we've spoken about today. So I thought maybe I would just finish with that, and then when I finish, then I'll strike the bowl and let it ring a bit.
Awesome. And then we can have that moment with everybody just to tune in. Lovely. Take it away, live on the sofa hangout, Tara LeAnn Eriksson.
Thanks. It's when you are singing and don't know the song. It's when you're newborn and can't do any wrong. Like stones in a fire can come to no harm. That's the language of one. Like birds all together can swim through the air. A small puff of wind blows a lock of your hair. Child and a grandma curl up in a chair. That's the language of one. You can't learn to speak it, it cannot be said. Thoughts will not keep it, it's not in your head. It's all that you long for and all that you dread, all rolled into one. And whether it's quiet or full of big noise, whether it shows up as clumsy or poised, all that exists only speaks with this voice. It's the language of one. It's the language of one.
I always love that sound. That when you it was hard to hear the continuation of it with the sound. However, I always love what the singing bowl does. Ginevra says this as well. It's the sound that comes after the sound.
Yeah.
You know,
I can still hear it, actually.
But
it's the sound that comes after the sound. That's a good expression.
Yeah, and it does make you go, when you come back, I don't know why, you naturally go, oh, I do anyway, and I heard you do the same, and you go, it's like if people are watching us and they've never experienced any of this, they might think we're just totally nuts, but it's just this the whole body seems to go,
Yeah.
So Tara LeAnn Eriksson, thank you so much for showing up. Thank you so much for just thank you so much for everything, really. Wherever the journey's taken us today. Thank you for being willing to just record our first conversation transparently and openly. And that's I'd love to send you love in Cologne and wishing you well. And we can arrange on personal message, and we'll talk about doing another little one on the topic of menstruation in the film. Okay.
Right. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
See you soon. Good luck. Good love. Be well.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. Lots of love. You're a miracle. Enjoy it.